I also put a block guard in, as you can see. Got this one off eBay from VMS. These are to protect the cylinder walls from cracking. Although it's not like sleeving a block, it's nowhere compared to sleeves. But it's just for extra precaution. Better safe than sorry. So I install one. All you do is line it up and tap it in. Sometimes you do have to use some force. I'm not sure if you can use a rubber mallet to do it because you got to hit it pretty hard. It took me a few minutes, but once you line it up, and I noticed I tried to start from the outside and it kept popping out. But once I started to go center first and then just hit towards the outside, it went better. So just wanted to show I also installed a block guard. I'm also using a, sorry for the lighting, it's dark outside again, but I'm using a Buddy Club head gasket. It had the name on it somewhere, but I don't know oh yeah, Buddy Club head gasket. This dang on thing, you see how thick it is? It said it's 2 millimeters thick. I caught a good price for it on eBay, so I bought it. I didn't really think it'd be that thick, but this head gasket, it says race specs, it's made out of metal on the inside. It's pretty heavy too, like compared to all the other head gaskets I've dealt with. This one is solid. It's gonna bring my compression way down, which is good for boost. So we see how that goes. Like I said, I didn't think it to be this thick. It did say 2 millimeters, but you know, I wasn't thinking, I don't know, man. But I got it, and I'm gonna use it, and we see how it goes. Buddy Club. All right. Oh yeah, that's better. My phone was recording without the light, but I figured I would turn it on. But when you install a head gasket, just make sure everything lines up. Also, you see this right here? It says up. So this side of the gasket must be facing upward. So make sure when you buy a head gasket, look for where it says up. And when you first lay it down, just make sure all the holes line up with the head gasket. One way with the VTEC heads, you know, you got this like oval port right here. That's for the VTEC. So this is an easy way to see if you got it right. It must be oval to go over to the VTEC. That's where the oil comes from for the VTEC. And then, you know, this one is obviously goes here because it's the same shape. But just make sure your head gasket is on right, or you will have major problems if you bolt this thing down with your head gasket on upside down or backwards. So just make sure all the holes line up and you good. Also, I'm using ARP head studs instead of the stock GSR head bolts. They did fine, the stock GSR head bolts. I didn't have no problems with it stripping out, or even a stock head gasket. I had a stock head gasket on here before. I never had a head problem. The only thing that went wrong with me was the actual piston. So if you run a stock GSR bolts or stock head gasket, long as you're not trying to get, I don't know, 400, 500 horsepower out of it, you should be good, you know. So this is just extra precaution. Depending on your boost and horsepower range, you don't necessarily have to go this route, but I just wanted to show what I'm using. Also with the ARP head studs, you must use the ARP grease or lubricant that they give you to put on. I just want to show you the stud. I don't know if you can tell, but one side of the stud has like a ledge on it. It's kind of flared. The other side is straight. You can see that side right there is straight. This side right here is kind of flared. Put the flared part facing down. Do not face it up. Plus, it's easy to tell that one goes down because at the top, the part that face up has an Allen head, an Allen head on it. So you can put an Allen key in it to tighten them. But you do not torque these. If you read the instructions, it says just put them hand tight. So you don't even have to use the Allen key to tighten it if you don't want to, because they're only supposed to be hand tight going into the block. Once you sit the head down, then you start torquing and things like that. Also, when you use these ARP head studs, sit the gasket down first and then put the studs in. I remember back in the day, I used to put the studs in and then try to slip the head gasket down over all these studs. It could be done, but the gasket get caught on the little threads on the head stud, and it make it real complicated. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking back in the day, but okay, just put the gasket on there first, and then put the head studs like this one. See if I can get in there looking through the camera. This one goes here. That's the last one, as you can see. So it should be 10, just like there's 10 GSR stock bolts. And then you just slip the head over these head studs, and they come with washers and a nut at the end that you have to torque down the spec. Alright, so I got the head back on, torque down the specs. The ARP head stud says torque it in the manufacturer's torque sequence to 80 foot-pounds. So I torqued mine to 80 foot-pounds. I went a little bit more to like 82, 83, only because I got a torque wrench from Harbor Freight. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but just in case it's a little off, then I just did a little more just in case. But I torqued it to sequence. I'm gonna show you the torque sequence from this book. All you gotta do is pause it if you want to see how it is. Alright, there you go. That's the torque sequence. 1, 2 in the middle, 3 to the right, 4 to the bottom left. That's how you put to torque it. So just pause the video if you want to see this instead of me taking a picture and posting it. Just pause it. So that's the torque sequence, and they say some guys do 3 steps to 80. So the 3 steps be like, first time it'd be like 30, second time it'd be 60, and then the final time it'd be the full 80. So just do it like that. But everything from here on out is just a reversal of what we did in the beginning. Put the head on, torque it down, plug up all the hoses and lines and fuel injector. How can I say that? What you call that? The wire harness. Plug everything up to the sensors and things like that. So we are on our way, and just gotta put the cams and stuff back in. Alright, so I got the head torqued down. I put the cams back in, and the cam rails also installed. So after this, basically all you have to do is install the valve cover and you're done. I want to take note. Also, there's a torque sequence for the cam rails. It's this bottom one right here. So there we go. Also, if you want to see that torque sequence, just pause the video and you can see how to torque down the cam rails. And also, check this out. This book has been a great help. I got it off of eBay. Book right here, How to Rebuild Honda B-Series Engines. It's real good. Got pictures step by step, what to do, how to do it, where to put silicone, and all that kind of stuff. It talks about a little bit on turbo, superchargers, cams, cam gears, things like that. It's a good book. I paid, there go the bearings, the things. I paid, I think, like 20 bucks off eBay. So if you want a good book to show you how to do things, and when you get stuck, you can kind of look in a book. This book right here was a good help. Also, you know, YouTube was a good help. I searched for things on YouTube, and people have videos up that helped out. But after this, we go set the timing and get that bottom put back together. I still got to put the windage tray. What else? The windage tray. Oh, and the oil pickup. So once I get that bottom back together, get the cam timing, get the timing set, and we might be looking to fire it up. I still haven't hooked up all the connections on the side and the wire harness and the radiator hose, but we get to that soon. So the head is on there. I'll catch y'all on the next step. Alright, so now we gonna put this bad boy in timing. I'm gonna try to show you as best as I can while holding the camera. Alright, so you want to put it at top dead center. Take cylinder number 1, take the spark plug out, put something long in it, like a long screwdriver. And as you can see on the timing belt gear, there's a mark. I actually marked it red so you can see. this red mark right here, you want to line it up with that arrow that's on the oil pump. So once you get those lined up, you're good at the bottom. Now we're going to go to the top real quick. Bear with me. As you can see up here, I have a long screwdriver in cylinder number 1, making sure that cylinder number 1 is at top dead center. So cylinder number 1 is all the way up. The mark at the bottom is on point. And then if you come up here, the cam gears right here, it says up. Over here, there's a notch right there. And in the center, you can't see it because I had this cam gear lock on here, but in the center, there's another notch like that. There's 2 of them on each one. Well, there's 2 together. So this cam gear is just like the other one. This will say up. You have a notch right there, and then in the middle you have another notch. Now these 2 gears in the center, let's see if we can, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but in the center those 2 notches should be together, and as you can see they are. So once it's like that, the cams are in gear. And to know it's correct, this notch right here, come on, focus. This notch right here has to be lined up with the head, flush with the head. I know from that angle, like different angles, it look like it's not, but if you get down low, it's actually lined up with the head. Also, you can put the valve cover on, and if this mark is lined up with the valve cover, then you're good. Also over here, you had a mark, which is here, and you can see the head back there. If I was able to get the camera down lower, you can see that it's lined up. This piece right here I bought off eBay. It helps out a lot, you know what I'm saying? It keeps the cam gears from moving, because when you try to put the belt on, the cam gear will spin sometimes, and it's a pain in the butt. But this actually locks the cam gears in place. Once you have it in time, this will slip right on. But if the cam gears is off just a little bit, this will not go on, and you know something's not right. But once you line them up right, this will slip on, and that's kind of a way to reassure that you had the cams lined up correctly. So next, we're gonna put the belt on. Alright, so I'm by myself. It's kind of hard for me to hold the camera and put the belt on and show you. So I put the belt on, and I'm gonna just explain it to you. First, remember, everything is in gear. In timing. This gear is facing, let's see if I get it. This arrow, mark is facing the arrow. You can see it back there on the oil pump. And then the markings that I showed you at the top are lined up. So you put the belt on, you wrap it around this gear first. And then the back side of the belt goes around that tensioner right there. And once it goes around that tensioner, you can see it goes around the water pump. So put it here first, put the back side around the tensioner, and then put the riveted side around the water pump. Now we're gonna go to the top. Once we come around the water pump, it comes up here and gets around the cam gear. Now this is where it gets tricky. If you didn't have these cam locks, when you try to put the belt around the cam gear, usually something to try to rotate, and then you gotta line it up again, and then you gotta try it again without moving anything. But it's a little trick to it, even if you don't have this lock. If you try to put, if I'm not mistaken, if you try to put the left side on first, it'd be tight, it wouldn't give. But if you pull the right hand side, it'll actually give, because it'll move the tensioner, and it'll give you some slack to where you can pull it around the cam gear. And another thing, this belt is, it's made, it only go on a certain way, if I'm saying that right. So
if the cam gear is not lined up right, this belt won't even go on. The teeth, see how the teeth falls in the grooves? If the cam gear is not lined up right, the teeth won't line up to the groove. It'll be hitting the edges, and you would never get this belt on. And you will notice, like, oh, I gotta rotate this one a little bit for the belt to slide on, and such. So that's why it could be kind of complicated. But I urge anyone who might be a beginner at this, even for somebody who's good at it and just want to make it easier for themselves, get this cam gear lock. It helped me a great deal, and it comes in handy. So if it's in timing like it is now, this belt is easy to slip on, and you can slip it on without even worrying about it hitting the gears. Now it's a little trick to it. Even though the cam lock is there, what you want to do is, this belt, you don't want to have one side all the way on and then try to slip the other side on. You want to put one side on, whether it's the right hand side or the left hand side, but have that side barely, like if you come to the top, have that side like this corner right here, you want it to barely be on top of the cam gear. And then while this one is barely on, you want to take this one, kind of fold it a little bit like that, and slip it on in an angle. So you want to kind of slip it up and over, because if you just try to go at it, usually it's kind of hard to just go straight at it. So put whatever side you go put on first. Yeah. Okay. Put on first, but just barely have it on the edge of the cam gear. You want it on, but barely on. And then the other side, you don't want to go straight at it, unless you got enough slack on the belt to where you can go straight at it, but usually you won't. So you want to go on the angle. Put the lip of this on top of the cam gear in like an angle, and just kind of slide it on. Push. It's like up and over motion almost, and it'll go right on. So hopefully that'll help. If you have trouble, just hit me up in the comments and I'll try to explain it. Maybe I'll make another video with someone holding the camera, and it'll be easier for me to show you what I'm talking about. But now the engine is in cam. This long screwdriver is telling me that cylinder 1, top dead center. All the markings are in the right place. The mark over here to the left, that's in up. I don't know if you can see the ones in the middle, but they facing each other in the middle. And then the marking on this side is facing outward. And I showed you earlier that red mark is facing the arrow. This engine is in perfect timing. So I hope that helped out, and I'll see you on the next step, which is I think I gotta continue to reassemble the bottom. It's just the oil pickup and the windows tray. Put back on the oil pan, the exhaust manifold already plugged up. Oh, I want to change injectors. I don't want to use the eBay ones anymore, just in case that was the cause of me blowing my engine. But I'll see y'all on the next step, whether it's the exhaust manifold, the injectors, windows tray, oil pickup. I still got a little ways to go, but we over halfway done. We pretty much done, folks, you know. So I'll see y'all soon.